Us this morning, though, to discuss is royal family member and American Viscountess Julie Montague, who is in Westminster. Julie, talk to us a little bit more about the mood now since the Queen's passing. This is the last day of the funeral. People waited as long as 13 hours in lines. What's today's mood feel? Does it feel like this is sort of the culmination of everything that's gone on the past week?
Absolutely. I've been around Buckingham Palace since about 5 a.m. UK time today, and I thought I was going to be one of the only few people on a tube at 5 a.m. But lo and behold, there were many. The tubes were packed getting to Green Park in order to witness this really once in a lifetime, and probably many lifetimes, really, if you think about it. The next time we have a monarch on the throne for 70 years probably won't be for a very, very long time. And the energy in the air was, again, it was quite somber here, to be perfectly honest. I saw people in the crowds clutching onto Queen memorabilia, whether that was mugs or photos of her as well, but definitely dressed in red, white, and blue, carrying around Union Jacks, St. George's Cross, the England flag. But it's been quite an extraordinary day here. All around. You know, the UK, the Brits, they know how to put on fantastic pageantry. I mean, everything here was done in precision and with precision. And it's just an extraordinary for me personally as an American to be able to witness this and to see it all come together so perfectly, you know, just like Queen Elizabeth herself.
This was, thank you again, by the way, for joining us, since you are sort of our boots on the ground person. And for those of you who, the uninitiated, the tube is the equivalent of our subway system. Right. I understand that music has played quite a role in the funeral. I wonder if you could explain that to us.
Well, being an American who has married into quite a British family, you know, I've had to really get my head around music here as well, with fantastic, listening to fantastic composers my whole life. But I do have 4 children who have all gone to school here in the UK, and you know, they have grown up singing hymns at their schools. It's very, very common, to be perfectly honest. And so that's what we heard today, some of the Queen's favorite hymns. And you know, this was put into place, really, this has been decades in the making. So we're basically seeing today it all coming together of something that has been in the makings for, you know, decades, as I said. But music is just a very important part, I think, of, in particular, the UK. We just have to look back at America and compare it to the amount of time it's been around compared to the UK. You know, this is a 1,000-year-old history right here that we're witnessing, as opposed to America, who's much, much younger and is really an extension, a part of an extension of the UK.
Julie, we saw some of the dignitaries early that attended. Give us a little scope and breadth of the types of people that attended, from politically to beyond that. And was there anybody that was expected to attend that didn't show up?
From what I understand, everybody that received an invitation absolutely said yes and arrived. I mean, I think for me as an American, it was quite extraordinary to see so many prime ministers there, because this country has gone through quite a few prime ministers over the past 4 or 5 years. And then, of course, you saw President Joe Biden there as well with his wife, Jill. We saw President Macron with his wife. So, you know, you saw all of these wonderful and powerful, I should say. Maybe they're not all wonderful, but powerful dignitaries arriving as well. And then, of course, members of the royal family, many extensions we saw as well arriving.
As you mentioned, there were tons of people, lots of dignitaries. And there were 2,000 people were expected to attend. King Charles and Queen Camilla hosted world leaders ahead of the funeral, and this marked the first time. I think something else that, as you were mentioning, you know, this entire ceremony has been years in the making. I think along with that is the anticipation of what the future of England would look like, knowing that King Charles was the heir to the throne and that Camilla would be next to him. And I wonder if you could talk to us about that.
Absolutely. I think right now we're in, somewhat of we're mourning, and as a nation, the UK is mourning, and globally around the world. And it is, you're always going to have that honeymoon period. So we've seen King Charles and Camilla arriving Buckingham Palace several times throughout these past 10 days with, huge cheers every time they arrive, whether it's Buckingham Palace or anywhere else, or even greeting crowds. So right now, I guess we're in somewhat of a honeymoon period, and that would be expected. But I do think that we will see a much greener King Charles III. This has been something that he's been talking about, the environment and climate change, much longer than anybody really gave it a thought. And now I think we will definitely be seeing that, and he'll have a much more meaningful monarchy, if you like, as far as environmental issues. He's been passionate about it. He's been outspoken about that. Now, he can't necessarily be political about it, but he can definitely speak about it. And I also think we'll see King Charles III do many more engagements with Prince William as well. To me, and I think for many people, Prince William will lead those national conversations that really touch the youth, and he'll be an extension for the youth. And King Charles III will be that extension of his mother to that older generation. And together, I think we're going to see wonderful, extraordinary things done by both of them.
Julie, thanks so much for your coverage, not only today, but through this whole process, obviously. And we hope to see you again.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.